Welcome to Learn Orbit Tech Academy, building your pathway to tech mastery. Until now, we have set up our environment, mastered variables, and written our first PLSQL block. If you missed any of that, the playlist link is in the description box. Today, we are taking control of our code and diving into control statements, the brain of our PLSQL program that decides exactly how and when your code executes. Let's get straight into it. There are three main control structures in PLSQL: conditional selection, choosing a path based on a condition, like choosing the clothes if it's a meeting, we wear a formal outfit, else we go casual. Second is loops, running a block of code repeatedly. Think of your morning routine: wake up, brush, shower. You repeat this loop daily. And third is sequential control, the ultimate shortcut. It lets you skip lines of code and jump directly to a specific section. Let's break down one by one. First one, conditional statements. Let's look at how we make conditions using a restaurant analogy. If then is the first conditional statement we can use, and it is the simplest form. If we go to a strict veg restaurant, we have only one path. If we go to fixed non-veg preference, we have only one. So if the condition is true, then it will perform the commands and exit the if block. Here, there is no else part. So if the condition is false, the code will not attempt any statement of the if and directly perform the next line of the code after end if. Next comes if then else. When we have a backup plan, we can use if then else. As if we have a non-veg preference, then we will have a non-veg food, or else we can have a veg food also. Next comes if then else if. For multiple specific choices, taken out of the spelling, it's else if with no e in the middle. All else you can write full else with a space and if. Now comes nested if, an if statement inside another if statement. If you choose veg, a nested if can be check if we want a dairy free or a fasting platter, that is fruits only. Next comes like this: if the preference is non-veg, we can have another two option within it. Do you want to have a seafood or you want a meat? If you are in a veg preference, then again there can be multiple options. Do you consume dairy items or you are a vegan? Or if none of these, else you have only fruits. Now comes the case statements. When you have too many options, else if gets messy. Use a simple case to match a single variable against specific values or a searched case to test completely different conditions one by one. This is the searched case. It matches a single input expression called selector, that is region here, against a list of specific values to execute a corresponding block of code. This is the simple case statement. It will test conditions one by one and returns a specific result as soon as the first true condition is met and ignores the remaining one, similar to if then else if. Next are loops. We use these to run code repetitively, but you have to be careful not to fall into the infinite loop trap. Take a look at this loop. We have a veggie count starting at 0 and a plate capacity of 5. If we loop and increase the veggie count without checking the plate capacity, the loop will run forever and crash your system. To fix this, we use exit when clause. Here, we are using exit when veggie count is 10. So the moment veggie count will increment till 10, the loop will exit after the veggie count value is 10 and it will not go to infinite. We have two major loops, that is for loop and while loop. For loop we use when we know exactly how many times we want to run, like number range, that is 1 to 10, or we can have a cursor result set also with the for loop. And while loop is used when the ending is dynamic, like a user trying to enter a password. It can be many times, we don't know. The loop keeps running while the password remains incorrect. The moment the password is right, the loop exists after making him the login. Finally, there are go to. This is the sequential control. Go to has some rules, that is, we cannot jump into an if, case, or loop block. Second is no sub block intrusions, that is, cannot cross from an outer block into the inner sub block. We cannot have go to statement in outer and the label in within the sub block. Second is scope isolation, cannot exit a subprogram or jump between exception clauses. Lastly, the destination label must be followed by an executable statement. There has to be some executable statement after the label is called. The engine or control has jumped to the label. After the label, there has to be an executable statement. So go to let us physically jump the control flow to a specific labeled line of code. Just use it very wisely so our code doesn't become messy. Let's try these commands which we have learned right now. Let's try if then block here. We have defined V dietary preference. If it is a non-vegetarian, then print this. Now this line will always be printed because once this condition comes true, we are printing these lines. This set of instructions are processed, and after end if we have this line without any condition, so it will always be printed. Second comes if then else block. If dietary preference is non-vegetarian, then this, else this, and print here. If I change the value here, if not a non-veg, print me. It went to else. Now here comes if else if else. If non-vegetarian, then meat platter. If vegetarian, then paneer tikka, or else you are a vegan. Now here it is meat non-vegetarian defined here already. So we have this meat platter printed and print me always line. Here comes the infinite block. We have veggie count 0, plate capacity 5, and the loop is just incrementing. There is no condition at which we have to exit the loop. So it has buffer overflow error. And look here, it has already run 28,000 times. So this is an infinite loop. We have to be sure not to use it. Now here we have written exit when veggie count is 10. So after 10, our loop has exited. Lastly, this is for go to. I have written here go to target label, and target label will print here jumped here successfully. So it skipped this loop and loop, and we are printing the message directly. And that is our 5-minute crash course on PLSQL control statements. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Learn Orbit Tech Academy. See you in the next video. Thank you.